So my subject is another encounter with someone in New Testament, and that is Samaritan woman. And it's in chapter John, Gospel of John, chapter 4, from 5 to 26. So who was she? Samaritan woman. Was she Jewish, pagan, or Christian? Because Jesus encountered here, so well, neither one of them. So who were the Samaritans? Well, let's go back to the history book. Let's go back to the Bible. And in the Bible, we got history of Jews when they left Egypt, and they left the bondage. They came to the promised land, and they divided the land according to the tribes. So everybody got a piece of land. So here on the south, there was a Benjamin tribe and Judah. And the other 10 tribes were a little bit further north and to the east. And everything went well for around 500 years. But after that, there was a king named Solomon. And he didn't behave properly. God didn't like the way he behaved. So he told him he's going to take the kingdom away from him. Just going to leave him 2 tribes. The rest will go away. Somebody else will run another 10 tribes. And so it happened. But there was a problem with the northern kingdom. The kings of the north got a little problem there because temple was in Jerusalem right here. And that's where the offering was. That's where the people were going for festivities. So all those people from the northern tribes were coming to Jerusalem. And the kings of the northern kingdom were afraid that the population may have a change of heart and eventually wanted to join the Judah and Benjamin. So what they decided to do, just before the boundary here in Bethel, they set up the golden calf. The other one they set up in the city of Dan here. So people didn't have to travel to Jerusalem all the way there. They could do the offering right here. Or instead of going right here across the border, they got the calf right here. Don't have to go a few miles to the Jerusalem. They could do something here. But God didn't like that. He's the only one God. He's a jealous God. So if they set up that calf, and worship that, God punished them. And during the period of Judges, when God punished them, he usually took them to the bondage, or there was an occupation of Moabites or some other tribe was occupying Israel. But this time around, the king of Assyria was coming, not to occupy them, but take the exiles all the way to Assyria, burn the village, take whatever they make, the wealth they got, and bring their own people to the cities of northern Israel. So here we can see what they did. When they came Assyrian, they took the Israelites every so often, every few years, when they worship too much, that God sent the Assyrians, they took the bondage, people to the bondage to Nineveh, Gozam, and they brought their own people here. And that happened quite often because that northern kingdom was dissolved 120 years before the Judean kingdom was dissolved and went to the Babylonian bondage. So I guess God was kind of fed up with them here. So when that happened, and the new people were coming, that region is called Samaria, become a mixture of cultures, languages, and beliefs, like different religions. So now, the Samaritan woman, who was she? She was part of that Samaria. And looked like she was from the Jewish stock, because she was talking about our fathers Jacob and so on worship on that mountain. So she was from a Jewish stock. But here, Samaria was already reduced, like not how it was before the northern kingdom, all the way above the Galilee, Sea of Galilee. Now they are that much. Is that much during Jesus' time. There's only a little piece of land here. Because when Jews come back from Babylonian bondage, they settle here in Judea and in Galilee. So Samaria was reduced to that little piece of land here. So now we are coming back to a story about Samaritan woman. So Jesus was going from Judea to Galilee. And he could take the road through this way, cross the Jordan River, went going through that on the east side, then across the Jordan River again to be in Galilee, and here is Nazareth. But he decided to make a shortcut. So he's driving to Samaria. And as he went through that, he got tired. It was 6th hour when he arrived by that well. 6th hour is like a noon hour time. So it's middle of the day. So it's hot. And here comes Samaritan woman. And she comes by herself in the middle of the day. Usually people come in the evening or in the morning where it's not that hot. And usually when women would come, there could be few of them because women like to gossip and like to talk, and they may exchange recipes, talk about what's new, and it would be a group of women coming to the well. But no, she was here by herself at noontime. So what does that mean? Was she a social outcast? No. Because when she came back and talked to the fellow villagers, they respected her. They listened to what she got to say. So she wasn't an outcast. Wow, from that conversation with Jesus, looks like she got 5 husbands. Well, what does that mean? 5 divorces? If she got 5 divorces, she wouldn't be popular among the people there. Again, people listened to her, so she got some respect. Yeah, that wasn't the case. So what's left is that she got married 5 times, but every time the husband passed away. And that could be true because Jews got the law that if someone marries a woman and he dies, he passed away, the younger brother, although he might have 2 or 3 wives or 4, he has to take her as a wife to raise the offspring for his older brother. And that situation probably repeats itself 5 times. Odd number, but it's possible. Because look at God, when he talked to Abraham and promised him that he will multiply him, that means many children. And look at Abraham's son, Ishmael. How many sons did he have? 12 boys. Look at his grandson, Esau. How many sons did he get? 12 boys. Another grandson, Jacob. 12 boys and 1 girl. And if you look at the culture of it, even now, we are a little bit more exposed to it because of that Gaza interaction there with Jewish army and so on. There's an interview with the fellow from the southern Gaza, and he was saying that, wow, he's in trouble now because he got 10 kids, and his brother came from the northern Gaza with his family, and his 9 kids. So now we have no room. So we are not used to it. We have like 2, 3 kids, maybe 4 at the most, but those people got nothing, 10 kids. So it's possible that there was a family there, and the boys were dying, the men were dying, because maybe some genetic disorder or something. So she probably had 5 husbands because, like I said, she was respected among the villagers. So when she came to Jesus and talked to him by the well, the conversation was started by Jesus. He asked her to give me some water. So maybe instead of reading the whole conversation, I will paraphrase that, who said what. So when Jesus asked her well, give me something to drink. But she replies, well, how come you are asking me? I am Samaritan woman. So it tells you right away that Samaritans were not really people which Jesus wanted to deal with. It was like they were like second-class citizens. But Jesus, anyway, started to talk to her. Yeah, give me some water. And she said, well, why do you want to talk to me? I'm Samaritan woman. And then he's saying, but again, he's saying in a third person. He didn't say, I got the living water here. Now, he who talks to you got an access to the living water. Once she get engaged in a conversation, he said, how can you give me water? Like he's ignoring that adjective, living water. She just water. Well, how can you draw the water? That's well is quite deep. You have nothing to draw it. And then Jesus elaborates a little bit more on it. If you would drink that water, you will never drink again, because that will become a well of the springing water of eternal life. And that seems to be over her head. She doesn't understand that concept of the living water. So, but because she's asking, well, if I'm going to have that water, I don't have to come again. So Jesus decides different approach. Now he's talking, well, bring your husband here. And she replies, I have no husband. And Jesus, to carry on, he's saying, yeah, you don't have it because you used to have 5 husbands. And the fellow you live with now, he's not your husband. So she admits to it. But Jesus, by saying that, she's concluding that he must be a prophet, because how could a stranger know her personal life? So she's saying, I perceive you are a prophet. Now she tried to hit that spiritual note. Okay, well, we are two also religious people. Our fathers are used to worship on that mountain here. But Jesus kind of cutting that off, yeah, no time, but the times are coming that nobody will worship here or there or Jerusalem or some other places, but we're going to have to worship in a spirit and truth. But now she's on a religious note, and she feels that she may not understand what Jesus is saying, so she's bringing the subject of Messiah. And she said, wow, we believe in Messiah. If Messiah will come, he will explain things to us. And Jesus got what he wanted to have. And now he's saying, he who is talking to you is he. And when the conversation ends, because apostles came and she has to go to the village, but she got the message that he who talks to her is a Messiah. So now she's going to the village with the good news. Now she can share that with others. She met somebody. She met somebody who told about her future, about her past, and talks about the future and about Messiah coming and so on. And then what? People were listening to her. And what happened after? They went to the well and talked to Jesus, invite him over. And you remember in Matthew chapter 10, verse 5, Jesus was saying when he was dispatching apostles and disciples, go and preach, but don't go into the Samaritan cities. Go to the lost sheep of Israel. Don't go there. But now Jesus is coming to the Samaritan village. And what? He's staying there for 2 days and preaching. Dear brethren, many people or scholars who study that story about Samaritan women are drawing one lesson about how symbolic was that living water. The others are drawing something from it. How slow was that woman in comprehending that concept of living water? But I would like to point out something else here. What I draw from that story is how one person's faith, courage, and good attitude can accomplish great things. Look at here. One simple woman single-handedly saved many lives. Just because she decided to share her testimony and experience with others, she brought many people to Christ. Many become believers. And then, look at that. She didn't have a pedestal to preach, no eloquence, no extensive knowledge of the scripture, but she accomplished quite a bit. Dear brother, now to summarize the reflection on Samaritan woman, we can ask our question: what would be her legacy? She was a remarkable woman, downcast because of her lineage, well, being Samaritan, but the only one in the Bible who testified about Jesus and brought such a great number of people to Christ. So, dear brethren, in light of the current events in the Middle East, we can see God's kingdom is coming in a faster pace and a longer strides. If that happens, there will be a need for preachers and counselors. We need to be ready for it. So, brothers and sisters, we have to know how to introduce good news to others, so we can be just like that Samaritan woman, bringing many to Christ. May the God add his blessing. Thank you.